to listen to one of India's most prominent, most eminent jurists, Professor Mirajuddin Mir. He has traveled all the way from Kashmir to be with us. Professor Mir is the Vice Chancellor of Kashmir Central University, and he has published several books on various aspects of criminal administration, criminal law, and criminal jurisprudence. In fact, there is not a single area in this vast field that he has not touched and which he did not adorn with his intellectual endeavor. He has his book, Crime and Criminal Justice in India, and his several case studies that he has done on drug addiction and the problem of drug addiction, prison reforms. His breadth of achievement in this area of criminology is indeed astounding. And apart from that, he has also been the director of the Academic Staff College in Kashmir University, and he had the distinction of serving the university under our very eminent educationist who was also our Vice Chancellor, Professor Tareen. Both of them served together in Kashmir University when Professor Tareen was the Vice Chancellor and Professor Mir was his lieutenant as the registrar. And both of them together have done the university proud by taking it to the status of an A-grade university, which Kashmir University undoubtedly enjoys today. So his interests are very varied. He likes gardening. He is a voracious reader, and of course research and writing. And most of his education was in Aligarh Muslim University, from where he took his degrees in law, LLM, and PhD. And for the last 40 years, he has been engaged in teaching. And today, of course, he is the Vice Chancellor of Kashmir Central University. Our Vice Chancellor will also be here, but she had to, there was a slight mishap, and so she is not here at the moment, but she assured us that she will be joining. It is also a great honor for me to welcome Professor Anisa Khan, who led this university through a period of crisis. And today, as you all know from the newspaper report that was published in this morning's edition of the various national dailies, our university, Pondicherry University, has risen to the status of the 13th ranking. And this is entirely, the credit goes to, of course, the faculty, the students, and our Vice Chancellor. And I deem it a great honor for me to welcome her on this occasion. Apart from this, it is also my privilege to welcome today a number of distinguished teachers who are here amongst us. Professor Anjaneya Swami, the Dean, School of Management, Professor Mohanan Pillai, Professor Dev, Professor Raju, Professor Jafar Ali, Professor Panch Ramalingam, and my colleagues from the Department of History, particularly Professor Venugopal Reddy. And all the teachers who are here, the students, a very warm welcome to you. The next item that I would like to be is perhaps to go in for the lighting of the traditional Kuttavilakku, with which we always begin any auspicious task.
Professor Venkata Rugatham, learned colleagues from different faculties, my dear students, good morning to all of you. This is not my maiden visit to Pondicherry University. I have had the privilege of visiting this university on many occasions, and every time I found this university as one of the vibrant universities in the country. I have also found that this university has always come out with various innovations, and today it has been proved when this university is among the first 8 or 9 of the central universities and on the 13th number so far as all the universities in this country are concerned. My heartiest congrats to all of you, to the Honorable Vice Chancellor of the University, to the faculty for carving a space which is on the top of the ladder so far as higher education is concerned. Well, in fact, I have a PowerPoint presentation on which dynamics of higher education, but people of my age, we are usually comfortable with what we call chalk and talk, and thereby we usually avoid, despite the fact that we have to keep the pace, but we prefer this chalk and talk as compared to PowerPoint presentation. I am very happy to note that this university has stood on the top of higher education ladder, as I was saying, the 8th among the central universities and 13th among all the universities in the country. Well, as I said, I am going to speak on dynamics of higher education, which I believe is a topic which is not new so far as my colleagues on the forefront or on the right side are concerned, because all of us are in higher education, and I believe a driver has no right to drive the car unless he or she knows about the mechanism of the car which he is driving, on which he is taking the role on the steering. As I said, we all are in higher education, and this very higher education has been in a flux. And I hope you will not mind if I use the word, this higher education has been in crisis. Crisis right from 1947. Why it has been in crisis, it is not I am saying. It is if you go through all the commissions and committees which have been appointed right from day one, I mean 1947 till date. You may start from Shri Radhakrishnan. You may go even up to Professor Chadda's report, and even thereafter, you will find that a finger has been raised. Finger has been raised against whom? Against none else other than those who are managing these institutions of higher learning. And majority of the chairpersons of these commissions and committees were nobody else other than they themselves were also teachers, educationists. Well, here the question arises, what is the reason? Now, so far as the latest national framework ranking is concerned, no doubt we have been in a position to make space in it. But you take the national as well as, international ranking. The Indian universities do not figure anywhere so far as first 200 universities are concerned. Thank God. Very recently, some of the IITs and some of the Indian Institute of Management, they have been in a position to figure in the forefront so far as international ranking is concerned. Well, here a big question is raised, what is the reason? Why don't, when we have so many facilities, when we have the universities like Pondicherry, like Chennai, like Mumbai, like Delhi, BHU, AMU, so many universities, why we are not in a position to make our space so far as international ranking is concerned? Here, as I said, the question is being raised against nobody else other than the person who has a key role in the system, that is a teacher. Whether they are right or whether they are wrong, I am going to discuss that very issue with you. In fact, as Dr. Saab, while introducing me, he has given a lot of expectations. I am a student of law, but I had the privilege to rub my shoulders with the educationists, with the senior teachers of the country while discharging my duty as Director, Academic Staff College for about more than 20 years. It is out of that very experience I have learned something about the concept of higher education, which I am going to share with you. And I am thankful to all of you especially to the madam for providing me this opportunity. Because a teacher doesn't want anything except he wants to speak, so that others are in a position to listen to him. Well, the first and the foremost question which comes to my mind, which I have after the review of literature on higher education, as I said, after rubbing my shoulders with the educationists, arises: what is the purpose of higher education? What is the basic purpose? What are the basic objectives of higher education? You ask any teacher, doesn't matter whether he belongs to education or whether he belongs to any other discipline, what are the basic objectives of higher education for which we are working, for which we have been working over the decades together? Well, I had the privilege to ask this question in the orientation courses where teachers attend, and different answers were given. Then I used to kick the ball. I used to say, to my opinion, there are three basic objectives of higher education. The one is GK. The second is GT. The third is GA. Then I used to ask them, just explain what these abbreviations mean: GK, GT, and GA. Some people used to say GK means general knowledge, different concepts. But these are the three basic objectives of higher education. The first and the foremost, as I said, GK means generation of knowledge. The second, TK means transmission of knowledge. And the third one, AK, means application of knowledge. Now, are we realizing these objectives? We have to ask these. As I said, we are in a flux. Our higher education is in a flux. But have a scenario of higher education. If you go to 1947, you will find only there were few universities, near about 20 universities. And the number of the students was limited, not more than 1 lakh. Now, as on date, you have more than 750 universities, including central universities. And number of the students have crossed 20 million, and it is going to cross 30 million. Within a couple of years, it is going to cross 30 million. Now you see the quality of higher education in 1947, and you find the quality of education in 2016. It is not you or me who has to decide it. It is those who have reviewed us. It is those to whom we have taught. It is those who have come out of these educational institutions. It is a matter of fact that today knowledge is the main capital, and knowledge stems out from education. Well, you can't deny. You go anywhere in the world, you will find scientists, you will find doctors, you will find engineers, you will find teachers who are from India or who are with Indian degrees, even if they are not from India, of Indian origin. They are shining in foreign countries like shining stars. Whenever you get an opportunity to go outside India and you get an occasion to meet them, you feel proud of your India, you feel proud of you. Again, a big question: are they making any contribution so far as their motherland, India, is concerned? What is the answer? Are they making any contribution? Our students who are working outside India and have been in a position to make their name, the name of their country outside India, shining their like shining stars, are they making any contribution to their motherland? Answer is yes or no. It is partly yes, partly no. Yes, they are making contributions so far as our economic development is concerned. They are sending petrodollars, and we are in a position to develop our infrastructure in case they send it to their parents. But so far as knowledge capital is concerned, they are not making any contribution. They are making contribution to the land of their employer. And here is why this higher education system is suffering. There is a mushroom growth of educational institutions. As I said, you travel from 1947 till date. Mushroom growth. But so far as this growth, which you can't deny, Now, as per the recommendation of the National Knowledge Commission, the number of the universities is to be increased, tremendously increased. It is because it is on the basis of the National Knowledge Commission that 14 central universities were established throughout the country. If you remember, when in 2009, the act was passed in the parliament with Shri Jagmohan Singh as our Honorable Prime Minister at that point of time, he gave a speech in the parliament. He said new universities are being created, autonomous colleges are being established, model schools at the block levels are being established, but he wanted that these universities should be what, as per his perception which he gave in the parliament, should be world-class universities. Should be world-class universities. I will come later on, if I get the time, whether they have been in a position to keep what our former Honorable Prime Minister said in the Parliament or not, or where they are standing. I will discuss that with you later on. As I said, the three basic objectives of higher education: generation of knowledge, transmission of knowledge, and application of knowledge. If you go a bit further, you will find International Human Rights Commission, while submitting its report of the 20th century. I will never mind if you can ask a question in the in between. I may not be in a position to keep the tune what you expect from me, and I am open to questions, and I will not be disturbed. And International Human Rights Commission, while submitting its report of the 20th century, found that the previous century has been full of atrocities against women. There have been more deaths, there have been more crimes of rape, there have been border conflicts, so on, so on, so on. And when our former Chief Justice of India, Venkatachalaya, he was giving comments on the basis of that very report, he said, 20th century has been the bloodiest century of the entire human civilization. 20th century has been the bloodiest century of the entire human civilization. I quote it from Honorable Justice Venkatachalaya, our former Chief Justice of India. And he further said, God knows what can be said at the end of this century, whether we shall break the record or whether we shall not be in a position to, but I believe by any standard we shall be breaking the record that will be spoken only at the end of this century. Well, why I mentioned this report, they said there are 4 objectives of higher education. It is relevant to all, irrespective of your subject. 4 objectives of higher education. First, I said 3 objectives. As per educationists, the 4 objectives identified by this National Human Rights Commission are: 1 is LL, double L. The second is LD. The third is LB. And the last is LLT. Again, different meanings. Well, I don't want to go in detail. LL means, LK means learn to know. Learn to know, the first objectives. That is generation of knowledge. Almost synonymous, same. The second is learn to do, LD. That is what you learn, you must try to do. International Human Rights Commission. And third is LB. What you learn, you try to be like that. You don't give sermons to others. First try to apply to self. Then only you can carry this message. If you go to saints, munis, rishis, you will find before preaching, they first used to apply to themselves. Then only their message was well taken by their followers. And the last one, learn to live together. The message of higher education, the message of education, what is provided in the Constitution of India or the Constitution of any other country, we must be in a position to acknowledge. We must be in a position to recognize what human values. We must be in a position to learn together in whatever circumstance, irrespective of our caste, color, faith, whatever it may be. This is the 4th which has been added by this National Human Rights Commission. Again, now the question arises, to what extent we in the higher education have been in a position to follow these objectives? Well, the answer seems to be a negative. I would like to request you, you kindly go through the report which has been prepared by our Ministry of Human Resources, which is called as Human Development Index. Then again you go through the report which has been consolidated by NAC, National Assessment and Accreditation Council. And if you get time, I would like to request the teachers, you go through one of the book which is entitled Vice Chancellors to Remember. Vice Chancellors to Remember. This book has been edited by Mathur and Mathur, old book, which was written way back in 1988, in which the Vice Chancellors and the principals of some of the autonomous colleges have narrated their experience. I have been a teacher and I have taught for about 40 years. From the analysis of all these reports I mentioned, National Human Rights, Higher Education Research Human Resources Development Report, the finger is against the higher education. We are not doing quality research. By other reports, even commissions and committees, the finger is against the teacher. We are not engaging ourselves in the what we call quality research. Everyone raises a finger against the teacher. What is the reason? And an analysis of various research on the subject reveals you have different types of the teachers in the university system or in the college setting. What are the three different types of the teachers? Summarily, they are known as D1, D2 and D3. D1 means dreamers. D2 means doubters. And D3 means doers. Doers should be the first one. Dreamers, doubters and doers. In case I say like this in my own university, next day there shall be agitation against me. Dreamers, doubters and doers. Dreamer means everyone. You have a right to see as many dreams as you like. Our former Honorable President, he has written a book on dreams. You must have such a dream which you can realize. You must act on this. But in our university setup, in our colleges, in our institution of higher learning, everyone wants to become a vice chancellor. Everyone wants to become a head of the department. Everyone wants to become a dean of the school or dean of the faculty or the principal. You have a right, but we do not channelize our right in the right perspective. We go in not leg breaking, head breaking against each other at the cost of our own research, at the cost of the time of our students. And the second is, I have not elaborated too much, second is doubters. If you give some more time, you as a teacher give some more time to some students, other colleagues will doubt you. Kya wajah hai? What is the reason? Why is in the library? Why is in the lab? Why is in the browsing center? Why is with giving such a time to the students? There is something fishy. We call them as doubters. And third is doers, who manage the business, who take the classes, who are committed to their profession, who are not committed to any party. Doubters and dreamers, since they have a lot of time, other than they concentrate on anything other than their own studies. It is not me who is saying it. You go through the article of late Professor Rastogi, former Vice Chancellor of Banaras Hindu University, and he was also chairman of one of the pay commissions. And you go through the article written by Professor Shah Manzoor Alam. He was a Vice Chancellor of Kashmir University. Papers in this, as the book I mentioned, Vice Chancellor to remember. Almost everyone has watched it. I will give some of the examples if we get the time. Rastogi in his paper writes that one day a senior faculty wanted to meet him, and he was conscious of the fact when the Vice Chancellor goes for lunch, when it is lunch time. He came, just entered into the Secretary's office and requested the Secretary that just he wants to have 2 minutes, 1 minute with the Honorable Vice Chancellor. And Secretary told him he has got up, he is going now to his bungalow for the lunch. He said, just khade khade, I want to talk to him while standing. And as soon as he entered, he had nothing to say. Sir, aap kahan ja rahe hain? Main lunch ke liye ja raha hu. Sir, mujhe aapse 2 minute baat karni hai. I would like to go along with you. The Vice Chancellor, no problem, you can accompany with me. And he carried with him. And next day, news came in the newspapers, in the local newspapers of Banaras, that so-and-so has been offered pro-Vice Chancellorship, but he declined to accept him. Even Vice Chancellor, this is what Rastogi says out of his experiences. One of the Vice Chancellors from this, one of the universities, I will not give the name, he narrated one day 3 teachers from a science department. इस किताब में लिखा है, the book I quoted, 3 senior teachers approached him, 3 senior professors approached him with a complaint. Complaint not against the registrar, not against the finance officer, not against any university functionary, against the students, 3 students of the department. 3 students, and the Vice Chancellor was going to close his term. At the end of the term of a Vice Chancellor, there is always a music in the universities, in the colleges, when he is going to complete. Isko extension milega, na milega, the music starts. Anyhow, that is a different story. And the nature of the complaint was that 3 students, X, Y, and Z, they got up from the class, snatched the notes from the honorable teacher, tore them into small pieces, and then threw them in the classroom. Indiscipline in the class, misbehavior with the teacher, and so many things, and they wanted the Vice Chancellor to take action against the 3 students. The Vice Chancellor did not do anything. Then again he was reminded, and next time the association of the university went to him, in case you don't take any action, we shall go on strike. Well, the Honorable Vice Chancellor, he was also a hard nut. He tendered resignation because he had already 2 months to go, 1 or 2 months to go. He tendered resignation and gave a press conference. He said, these 3 boys have done a commendable contribution to higher education. Commendable contribution to higher education. Poor teacher has now no option. Poor teacher has now no option except to prepare the fresh notes for the classroom. This is my dear friends, and what is the image? I am myself a teacher, sorry to say this. This is where we are sailing. This is the category I call of dreamers and doubters. But we have the teachers, and they are managing the show. They are running the setup. As I said, which should have been the first category, D3. That is those who do their work. They are unmindful about their promotion. They are unmindful what the seniors will say or what the juniors will say. They go to the classroom with dedication and commitment. Again, among these doers, you have again 3 categories. D power 1, D power 2, and D power 3. Can you guess what does it mean? D power 1, D power 2, and D power 3? Any? D power 1 means, it is for my young teachers if there is any. D power 1 means he is a doer, but he teaches sincerely and honestly in the classroom. वो उस घोड़े की तरफ आगे पीछे नहीं देखता है, बिल्कुल वही पढ़ाता है जो उसके दिल में आता है. But his teaching is not based on research. His teaching is not based on innovations. He doesn't come with something new. वही जो उसके मन में आता है, जो उसमें इसके वो याद है, वही पढ़ाता है क्लासरूम में. Well, I believe his position in the society is like this pen. It cannot stand unless it has a support. It can be taken by a slight wind. Rather, he can't stand. The second, D power 2, is a teacher who teaches on the basis of the research, on the basis of the innovations, well, he is in a position to make his space, at least in the university, at least in the surroundings. And his position is just like a bottle. It can stand without a support. But if थोड़ा सा बूंचाल आ गया तो गिर जाएगा, है ना? With some slight vibration, it can fall. But the third category, that is who teach on the basis of the research and they find their research is relevant to the society. Those who teach on the basis of their research and they find their research is relevant to the society, they are visible. They have every reason to be visible. And no wind with whatever velocity it may be can disturb them. Their position is just like this dice. They can stand and they are visible from a distance. This is what should be the quality of a teacher. Why? As I said, what is the purpose of the university? University is just like a gown for the town. A college of higher learning is just like a gown for the town. What does it mean, gown for the town? By being gown for the town means we have to provide a leadership to the society. We have to work for the society. We have to work for the community. And as I said, gown for the town, town does not mean if the Pondicherry only. Town means and